Ba-da-da-da. We're live.
Oh my goodness.
It says 00, but I think I'm pretty sure it's live. I'm gonna just assume that it's live.
Didn't it do that for a long time?
Yeah, it's like, oh, don't worry, you can say it's weird stuff because you're not live yet. Even though it was like live for 7 seconds before it told me.
Yeah.
I'm positive we're live. And in case I'm not, I'm just gonna play around for a little bit. Yeah, here we go.
How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you have a fantastic day here with us. Please like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. How's it going,
Legna
everybody?
says we're
Thank you so
live.
much for tuning in
Oh
today.
my
I hope you have a
gosh.
fantastic day here with us. Please
I'm
like this.
alive.
I'm gonna
I'm a real girl.
I'm gonna super tonic them.
I should probably join the stream.
How's it going, everybody, buddies? All right, let's get some music going. We need some good music. Not me smashing on the keys over here. Some RPG Maker MZ, safe and sound music for everybody. Sir Legna's here, early crew. Black Ruby Raven's here. Talika, the Reckless Gamer, is here. Thank you so much for including Reckless Gamer, Talika. It's good to know who people are. Vaslin's here. What's up, Vaslin Gonchev? How you doing? Hello. Zariab's here. Cool. I have the Hive Mind. The Hive Mind is here now. They have assimilated. We are alive. So
I'm glad for the hive mind.
yes, I appreciate the Hive Mind. Hive Mind helped me do big brain stuff.
Yeah.
So here's where I'm at, Hive Minds. I need to figure out a way to force the player to equip a thing that they don't have in their inventory. Or I could just add it and then also do a line of script to equip it. But I need to... Let's look at the code. Everyone's dying to see the code. No, they're not. Most people don't care. Most people don't want to see text on the screen. It's okay.
I care.
I do. I like seeing it. I'm like, ooh, how are they doing that?
You want to know
going
something
on
interesting?
What's that?
When I met you, as you know, I hardly watched any YouTube videos whatsoever
Yeah.
my entire life. And I was only subscribed to like one person. And you know who that was? Mr. Snow, a coder.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. People like to watch people code.
I think you told me about him, and I was like, oh yeah, let me listen to him. I'm like, oh my god.
He's absolutely monotone. He sounds like he'd rather be anywhere else in the world but there.
He's like, we're gonna talk about how to do this thing now.
And there are other people that do the same exact tutorials as him, more upbeat, more editing and everything, but he's way better because he actually explains logic
He's like, the
behind
reason
the
why
coding.
we have to do this is because it's looking for the thing and you can't set the getter.
Yeah, and he explains everything, and it's so good. You just have to stay awake while he's doing it.
It's like, you better inject some coffee. Get that coffee enema ready. All right. I know you could force the data manipulated off the actor object, but I am sure there's a better function ARM comes with. Yeah. Okay. So I'm on the load. I don't need to go through the whole process again. It'll take forever to explain everything. It's like trying to ask, what microphone are you using? How's your sound set up? Like, I'll talk about that for 20 minutes.
Yeah, don't ever ask Drifty that, please.
So what I actually have is just kidding. So we're in a function now, back on the client, and we're past a whole lot of data. After the live stream yesterday, I went ahead and added more stuff like the equipment slots, the AP, the JP, the job levels, etc. And then I started making the load game encoder, which was easy. I made some redundancies in there. Like, this is all unnecessary. This whole part right here. It says let yada, let yada, let yada, let yada, let yada. Don't need any of that until I got down here and I'm like, why am I doing useless things here? And so I'm like, I could have just passed that data from here into here And this would have been a lot longer, but like not that much. Like this was definitely unnecessary, this whole thing that I wrote. But whatever, I'm just going to leave it because then if I take it off, I have to rewrite this again. So I'm just like, okay, cut your losses and move on. I will refactor this, get rid of the majority of these lets, and just make this a bit longer, rewrite this. So that's fine, I'll do that later. But right now it's working. It's passing the data back to the client. So on the load game, the client has got data sent from the SQL server to the socket server to the socket client, which is this MZ client. That's great. We got all this data. Now we have to use that data to set a new game up in the way that it would seem as if you had loaded the game. And Serlinga had a good idea of just hijacking the save game and the load game, and then just like exporting the save file and uploading then putting the save file back in and loading the save file from there. But for one, I don't know how to do that, and two, then I wouldn't have any access to any of the data. It'll just be like locked in a box, and I can say, well, everything loads and then blah blah blah, and then everything saves and everything loads. But then I can't be like, well, let me manipulate this thing in a new system I want to make. There we go. One second. Okay, it's taken care of. All right. So, does anyone have an idea of how we'd want to how we could do that? I know that there's some functions. There are some functions that will let us like there's the set equips, right? We have set equips, but I can't even figure out where that is. Like game items was what T said. T found it on.
No, we found a second one though, didn't we?
Set equip.
Oh yeah, it was game items though too. Yeah, set equip. Yeah, how do you call that?
How do you make that work? Game items dot set equip.
Because you're not specifying an actor.
Yeah, I thought it would be like game party dot set equip, and then the first thing is true or false. If it's true, it's a weapon, and then you put the number of the weapon. But like, how do you say what actor to do that on?
Yeah.
What's up, Legion of Light? Yeah, we're making an MMO here. This is another attempt at it using Socket.io. This is the best attempt I've made so far. This is the farthest I've gotten with it, because it's actually set up pretty decently. It's just it's a lot of data I'm sending back and forth, and I'm doing it manually. There's got to be better ways, but the bonus to doing it this way is I know where all the data's at. I know how to access all that data. I can make a ton of cool systems because I have full control of where the data's at, how it's stored. I can present it very clearly on different layouts if I wanted to make new elements and make new auction house or PvP systems, or rank leaderboards, show who's got the highest attack power on the whole server, who's got the highest magic attack, who's the best enchanter, who's the highest level crafter. I have a lot of control over stuff when I manually when I manually, I think the word was serialize things. That's what Zariab was saying. Zariab said, I had a monotone professor like that. The reason I started to drink coffee.
Yeah. It can be difficult to pay attention to, but it's very informative.
Sadly, Serlinga doesn't have all of the MZ code memorized, but maybe one day. No, you won't, because by the time you get half of it memorized, or even a quarter of it memorized, it will move on, and we will be using a different version of RPG Maker. It's a fool's errand to try to memorize all of it. There is much better things to do with your time than memorizing the code. I would say temporarily memorize a few things that you need to know, and then flush that information with new information when the situation arises. Will we be able to see each other walking around? Marlin C, in the last iteration, when I tried to make it this way using Discord.js, the answer was no. But with Socket.io, the answer is yes. Last night I was thinking about that, actually. Right now my method of doing it would cause there to be like a 1 second delay. So you would update and you would see where the other players are every 1 second. So it would look like everyone's always lagging, but they should be able to move around. And I could try to reduce that to less than 60 frames wait, but I don't know if I don't know. The Socket.io server should be able to handle that up to 100 to 150 connections. So I think as long as there's less than 100 people, I can make it not look laggy. I don't think they're going to be over 100 people playing it, so should be fine. $5 from Vino. What's up, Vino? How are you doing, man? Thank you for the super chat. Vino dropping $5 saying, hi, friends. Hope everyone's doing well. But if you're not, that's what jokes are for. So today's joke, a dyslexic man walks into a bra. There you go. Got him. Thank you, Vino.
Very, very punny, Vino.
I flush it with my own code modification, says Serlegna. Which I think is better, but slightly biased. Sure it is. Legion of Light dropping $5. Thank you so much, Legion. Appreciate that super chat. No message from Legion. He just wanted to show his love, dropping $5. Thank you, thank you so much. If you have any questions about it, let me know, and I'll go over how I did things. This isn't like top secret information. This is a pretty open project, and the thing is, I could give somebody this plugin, and they wouldn't really be able to like plug it into their game.
It's not plug and play.
It's not plug and play. It's custom made for like my game, you know, and it just wouldn't work the same for some other person's game. But if you learn how I'm doing it, you could do something just like that. The only thing I've had to pay for with this entire system, all the servers and all the things, is RPG Maker MZ. So if you have MZ, then you can pretty much get all this other stuff for free. These are all open source things. You need to open up the Git, then everyone can help you. No, it's a private repository right now because versioning and I'm not going to be able to read through everyone's code, and I kind of want it to be my own because here's the thing. It's not about getting to that end goal. It's not about the end goal here, Serlegna. It's about me learning how to do things. Yeah. And so if I just have everybody write all my code for me, then, you know, I'm all for receiving, like, hey, to find that data you're looking for, it's presented like this. I'm like, sweet, okay, now I know how to look for that piece of data that I can plug into the system that I'm putting together. But having somebody else write the whole system for me isn't really interesting to me.
Maybe after releasing it, if people want to upgrade it.
Exactly.
That would be better.
That's what I do for my tutorials, too. I'll be like, I'm sure you can come up with a better way to do this, but here's a baseline to make this system work. And this is what I do, and make something cooler with it. And then boom, take it. He wants to be a pioneer of his own system. That's right, Jacob. Legion of Light with a $10 super chat. Damn, thank you so much, Legion. Appreciate that. How are you doing today? How is your game going? Let us know what's going on with you. He says, sorry, here's another just to show more love. Appreciate that, man. I want to learn this so you have a new follower in me. I'm going to watch all your videos, maybe try to friend you guys as well. Well, we're on the Discord. Links in the description below. Come join us on Discord. We've been there for several years, and we are an official Discord partner. I'd love to have you come join us. We're there pretty often. $5 super chat from Marlon C. Thank you so much, Marlon. Thank you, Legion.
Marlon.
Thank you, Marlon. Marlon dropping $5 here saying, where are you hosting the server? How much will the server cost? Do you have a feature list so I can stop asking so many questions? Lol.
We probably will host it.
Yeah.
We don't know how much it costs yet, though, because we're not at that point.
I'm going to host it on Google Cloud probably because they have free options. But even if
it's paid, we'll
even
probably
if it's a
host
paid
it.
thing, if I get there, guys, this is a project that can fail at any moment, and I just try to take it one step at a time. And I appreciate that $5, Marlon C. Feature list. I will make a feature list. If you want to stay up to date, the Discord's the best place to find it because you can go to over here. Let's see. Once you join the Discord, go to the MZMMO coding. I'm here every day. I'm here every day telling you what's going on. All the stuff that I'm working on, the next step that I'm working on. I've been working on it kind of like every day, all day when I have time to do it. And it's been a real fun project. It isn't a really addictive project that problem that I have right now. I'm addicted to this thing. So yeah. The MZMMO coding is where you're going to stay up to date to get the most recent information on this that I'm actually working on. So come join us on Discord. And then we got a $5 super chat from Waffles. Thank you so much, Waffles. Appreciate it. How you doing? Big Daddy Waffles in the house. He says, hey, guys. Oh, my God. Well, y'all have fun.
Thank you, Waffles.
Waffles is not really into looking at text on the screen. And I understand that. I get it. I understand. But maybe he'll be interested when I have a game for him to play. That would be cool.
Waffles, you needed some scripting yesterday. Maybe learn a little bit of scripting.
That's true. T had to write some scripts for Waffles real quick so you learn some of this stuff. It'll help you.
It's not perfect though. What I gave, it's not the final solution. How's that going anyways, Waffles? Did you get it running smooth?
He's trying to do collision and stuff?
Well, yeah, the thing is having a laser go across the screen, but it needs to be able to pass through you and also cause damage, but also like reset every time, like if it passes through you again or if you pass through it again.
Okay.
And it sounds so simple. It sounds simple and easy, but it's not.
Check the X and Y location of the event, and when they match, you can issue, that's your trigger.
Right, and then when they don't.
Conditional parallel process when they match.
When they don't, it has to reset because just having it match means that every frame that you're in contact with it does damage.
Well, that's easy. You have it turned on by the switch. You turn on a switch on when they match.
He's like, it's easy. That's what I said last night until I got into it. I'm like, holy cow, this is actually kind of complicated.
We'll figure it out, though. $2 super chat from Vino. Thank you again, Vino.
Whoa.
He says, super chat competition. Rah, rah, rah. Thank you so much, Vino. Appreciate that. Failure's not an option, Sir Ligna. I'm not allowed to fail here. And then we have $3 super chat from Jacob Jasray. Failure is not an option. He wanted us to make sure that we're. Whoa, Legion of Light with $50.
$50.
Bro, thank
Legion.
you so much.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Vino.
Thank you, everybody who's throwing super chats. I can't even keep up. You guys are killing it today. We just started. I haven't even done one line on straight. Everything has been off camera so far. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Legion. Bro, come join us on Discord. You gotta get a Patreon roll or something for that. And then we got a $2 super chat from Vino again. Failure is always an option. We have a rebuttal from Vino. Vino versus Jacob versus Sir Legna here. Vino's always got to go against the tide here. He's always ruffling Waffles' feathers, and now he's pushing back on Jacob and Sir Legna. Thank you guys for the super chats. Appreciate that. Damn, Legion, you're just coming in dropping money. Love it, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
We got to get it going.
Yeah, because like what I'm saying is like, if you learn how I'm doing it, you can do it yourself. The only thing that you have to have is buy MZ and spend a lot of time doing it.
Yeah.
You do need to have a little bit of basic JS to get started.
I was over here when Drifty was saying that. I was over here plotting some like story-based lame building MMO that I could do on my, a side one.
Oh yeah.
Drifty's like all database, all battle. Like that's his forte.
Yeah, but how do you make an MMO that's just a story MMO?
Well, it's like Minecraft, it's a world building and you like build resources and make stuff together.
So you mean like a crafting type of thing?
Yeah,
Well, I plan to put a crafting system in, probably a couple of crafting systems. Simple stuff, using plugins, a lot of Vigistella stuff. But also because I can grab all this data, I can present the data in different forms so people can see who's winning and have a little bit of camaraderie and competition and stuff. And the thing is, I know it's going to fail a lot, and then it's eventually when it's released, it'll get hacked, and I'll have to reset the server. And I can see things like that happening, but that's just the nature of the beast.
We're going to try and make it so it can't be hacked. But
it will always be able to be hacked. Just
Yeah.
know that. You can hack any game. But the idea is hopefully you have some white hats who are like, look, I know how to do this. All I have to do is this, and then your economy is blobbed. And then I'll be like, okay, what can I do that would stop you from being able to do that? And then the white hat can tell me how to fix that vulnerability, and then I can reward them if, however, I know how to do that, if I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
Jacob with another $2 super chat. Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate that. If it was an option, Drifty wouldn't exist for failure. Oh man, I don't know, man. I've made my share of ultimate failures.
you know what? If you don't fail, you're not trying.
Yeah, one time I bought a car for $1,100. It worked for 3 days, and I sold it for $100. I consider that a big failure.
Yeah.
There's things like that's happened. Yes. So at this point, I'm trying to load the game, right? I've got an account creation process. I suppose I can show off the game a little bit. Let's make sure the server's up and restarted and running, and I don't have anything funky on it. So I'm using Node.js, right? And then I closed the server, and then I restarted it by running my server.js. So I have a server. What the hell, Drifty? That's a real thing that happened. It was a rough situation. I was living in Orange County and breaking up with a relationship that I'd been in for like 4 years, and then the place that I was living in got sold to some Dutch bank, and then so I had to move, and then I was like, well, it was so expensive, and I was in like this codependent thing, and I lost my ride, and my 87 Toyota finally kicked the bucket. It was a great vehicle, but anyway, like I was hard up, and I had some cash, but I just didn't have enough to buy like a new car or a nice car. I just had enough to get something, and I thought it would work fine, and it didn't. Well, it did for 3 days, but then it didn't. It had electrical problems. Anyway, that's beside the point. We got the server running. Basically, I have a MySQL server. $5 more from Legion of Light. Thank you so much, Legion. Damn, love it, dude. Appreciate it. You're awesome. Asking me any questions you have specifically, and I'll do my best to get the information to you. He says,
Welcome to the server.
Welcome to the server. I'll be Forsaken Angel 1101 over on Discord. Can't wait to help in any way I can. You've already helped. You've already dropped some money, showed your support, helping us pay our bills, helping us pay for this server to be hosted at some point.
Listen to Waffles. He's like, can I kick Vino for not being humble about his games?
Well, you can. I mean, you have the right to try. It's probably a long distance. You would need a long leg to kick him from where you're at. I think he's somewhere in New York. Yeah, so we've got the server running, and that's excuse me, a sockets.io server. I'm dying. I need more coffee. Socket.io server that's connecting to a MySQL server, which I'm also running locally. So this is the server that I've got here. Let's look at the status. It's currently stopped, so if I were to queue anything in the database, it wouldn't work, but we can refresh this. Now the server is running. And now when we go to store data and retrieve data and check to see if data is there, we have a database. And if you don't know what SQL is, just think of it as like a Google document or a Google spreadsheet, like a Google sheet, right? But it's just a lot more, I don't know. I use tools, like I'm using DB Forge Studio, which is a trial version, but I think the free version will still do the things that I need it to do. And it's just like, they're like spreadsheets. It's essentially like data in this format is spreadsheets. You've got rows and you've got columns, and you decide what type of data goes in those rows and those columns, and then you assign that using SQL. In this case, I'm using a library called Sequelize, and it's a promise-based object relational manager, and that's going to let me type things in a very short form instead of writing out the huge SQL dialect. And so I like Sequelize, but it comes with its drawbacks. When it comes to using Sequelize, when you go to make queries on the database, you have to make model files, and those model files, they look something like this. At the top, we'll go to the top. you're going to export. Module exports is going to take the data that's in this JS and send it to anything else that's using it. Relatively, it'll know what it means. So when we're passing in SQLize and data types, and then returning a definition of a SQLize, and then this is the name of the table. And this definition needs to match what's in your actual database. And right here, we've got the names of the rows. They're technically columns, but they're referred to as rows in all of the code I've ever seen. I guess because it's easier to read when you type in ROW instead of COLUMN, or, you know. So anyway, then you define what type of data type it is and any type of extra parameters or restrictions on it. And then that way, when you go to like run a query on the database, SQLize can do it quickly, but it can it does it so that you don't have to type as much, and it uses your own model files to know how to place the data in that table. So you tell it how the data is supposed to look and what type it is. You have some problems. There's several other options for SQL. You can use SQLite 3, which is what we used for CyberBaron, which is a bot that we've coded. T and I and Drag have coded, and it's a pretty long bot by now. It's got like 6,000 lines of code, and it's probably our biggest coding achievement. And it's a big spaghetti monster at this point.
But it was a beautiful learning experience.
But yeah, it's a fantastic learning experience, and I've learned what I'm using now from trying to do this over the last couple years. And it's still running today. We keep CyberBaron alive on the Discord. Links in the description below. CyberBaron is here. There's a bunch of like little systems that you can use inside of CyberBaron. You can get a free first impressions if you get enough credits. There's like a dozen people who could just at any moment just say, hey, I want a free first impressions because I've made enough credits on CyberBaron. And we'd be like, sure, send me your game and we'll play it. We'll schedule it. And for CyberBaron, we're using another SQL database called SQLite 3. We're running that locally, but you don't really need a server for that. You connect to the local host for how I've got it set up anyway. For MySQL, you needed to install a whole suite of software. It is free, which is good, and it takes a little while to get it all set up and installed right and running. And then once you do, you'll have to do another thing, because if you're using Node, like RPG Maker MZ is using a Chromium box Node window as the runtime environment. And so it's when you're trying to run SQL, MySQL with a Node client, there's a problem with the SHA-2 authentication, and it doesn't read it right. It might be the other one. But anyway, you're going to need to run a script on your user because you'll encounter a problem here. So you're going to alter user, type in the username, identified with, type in this, and then say bye, and then put your password, and then flush privileges. What that'll let you do is make it so that your socket server can connect to your SQL server, because it just doesn't, even if you type your name and password right.
I'm going to send you some code to try for the equipment.
Oh, you were looking for that while I was explaining?
Yeah, try that one. And just do equals whatever you want it to be. This is just for your weapon, though.
Okay.
You have to specify which slot. You got the weapon and then the different armors.
.equips 0.id. And then you want to assign that? Because that looks like a getter.
Well, let me assign it on the console.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me try to do that then. Because otherwise it'll say error. You cannot see. This is yeah, the getters can't be set. But whatever. Anyway, so that's how you've got that set up. Ask any specific questions if you actually follow through and try to do stuff like that, and I'll do my best to help you. I'm still learning as I'm going along as well. But the client has got its own JS file, and then the server has its own JS file, and then I've got an index HTML which is running for the game, right? RPG Maker MZ runs an index HTML, and it loads main.js, and main.js is what starts the game. You know, this is something that just runs to like set up the whole project. So you'll have to modify the HTML as well. You're going to have to include socket.io.js and jQuery. You may not need jQuery. I put jQuery in because I was doing some other stuff in the HTML. Decided I didn't want to mess with the CSS and HTML, and decided I wanted to do it all in a plugin instead. And so I moved that off, but For some reason, I got white screens, and I'm like, you know what? I'll just require the jQuery. I don't care. I'll leave it in there. It doesn't seem to cause any extra errors or problems. Since I've already got the modules installed, it'll be fine. In order to install modules, you're going to navigate. You're going to open up like a PowerShell window or something, navigate with change directory, and go back and forth like that. This will go back, and then you can say change directory to where your game is at, and then you're going to type in npm and then install, and you're going to install certain things like Node.js. You're going to want to install Express, Socket.io, jQuery. You don't really need all of those things. I would say you need Node.js. You need, Node Package Manager. Get that installed. Then you need to install Node.js if you don't already have that as the runtime. Then you're going to need Socket.io, and you're going to need to install MySQL and MySQL 2. Get all those packages installed in the right directories. Some of them like to uninstall the other ones, which is maddening. So if that happens to you, just, I don't know, check your version of npm and keep trying until you get the packages. Zariab says you need Node.js. No, not Node.js, Node. You need Node.js. Node.js. Is that what? Did it sound like I said you don't need any JS? I don't know what you're trying to say, Zariab, and why you're so mad at me. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry, Jared. Don't hurt me. Cyber is the hidden spaghetti monster. Yeah. Node.js. No, you're going to confuse the people who are trying to learn. It is a runtime environment called Node.js, Node.js. And it's required for all of this. Otherwise, you can't even run your scripts. In fact, the servers are running on Node. So the Cyber Baron is, I'm not going to scroll up to see everything because there's a whole bunch of stuff there. But this server right here, you can see that I type Node, and then I type in the name of the JS to run as, now this is running in a ISE PowerShell as administrator. No.js. You guys are trolls. It's no.js. Confuse people is undefined. You guys are cracking tea up in the other room. She loves confusion. JS no. No Veroclaw. Savage trolls. Good luck. I feel sorry for anyone trying to learn right now. Legion says, I gotta head out, gotta go to work, have a good stream. Take care, Legion of Light. Thank you so much for dropping a bunch of cash on us. We love you. We hope to hear from you on the Discord server, and we'll get you those rolls so you can pay those tolls. Let me see. You identified yourself. I gotta get you those rolls real quick. You dropped a bunch of money, showed up. Legion of Light might compete against Corey. We'll see. We'll see. Corey's already boss status. We've got a few bosses. Boss status people have dropped 4 digits, on us in the long run, and they've earned that boss status. There's only a few of them. What was the name? What was the name? I gotta scroll up 1 second. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I just joined the Discord. Where should I start chatting? I would say default is a good spot. I don't know if you're still here. What was the name? What was the name? I can't believe it. Okay, Forsaken Angel 111. That's in the Fs. Did you already give Forsaken roles, honey? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's why I couldn't find him down there. Sweet, sweet, sweet. It's kind of a niche thing we're doing, which is, it's also fun. I've personally tried to do stuff like this before and failed a bunch of times, and that's why I do this under the assumptions that it's just gonna get to a certain point and fail. But as long as I learn stuff along the way, I'll be able to get farther next time. Maybe he went offline. I think that's what had happened. He went offline. That's fine. Let me read some privates real quick. Okay, this is what T's got for us. She's got us, she's fished some stuff up. Sir Lignus says, I just have to drop over $1,000. Noted. What, Toad.js? Yeah, you have to get Toad.js. Go to Node Package Manager, install Toad.js. And don't forget the Ribbit module. And Ribbit 7. Not 2, 6, 7, 8, just 7. Epic trolls. Alright, game actors, .actor1. Right now, I'm back to the load function on the client. I've created the save game encoder, and then I've created the save game decoder, which is on the server. And then on the server, I've created the load game encoder, sent the data back through Socket.io to the client, and now I'm working on the hardest of the four, the load game encoder and the load game decoder. The decoder takes the data from the SQL server and puts it into the game and makes the character load everything to where he was, because I've completely removed all of the local saving. So you can't save your game like you normally do. When you create your client, when you join the game, you load it up. There is no like new game or continue or load or anything. It's just connect to the server. And if you try to log in and you put in a name and password, and it's not found, it won't let you log in. It'll say it's invalid. So you actually have to log in with an account that exists or create a new account, which you can just do. You can create as many accounts as you want, really. I have plenty of room on the SQL server to do that. So let's make a new account. We'll call it Legion of Light. And then the password will be uncrackable 12345. Ultra high speed. I have just been skimming these videos. How is the MMO's progress? It's coming along. It takes a long time to do all kinds of things. Like every little thing that you try to do takes a long time. But I've got different version controls, and I've got a repository on GitHub. So if I do something that I mess up, I can go back to a previous version. So I'm willing to to try different things on the code, and that gives me a little bit of I guess creative experimental freedom. I'm not worried about, like, right now I haven't let anyone log in or do anything because it's just not a lot of game to play yet. There's only a few battles. The database is extensive. I've incorporated data from my past RPG Maker games that did not see the light of day. So I've got like 250 weapons. I have I'm still poisoned. I've got about 400 armors. I have like 1,000 items. So there's already an extensive database that I've put in the game. So at this point, there is no save. I've removed all saving and loading, but the server is going to initiate saves at some point. So if I look at the data here and I refresh it, we've got 4 rows here, which I could delete all these rows. And let's go ahead and select all of these rows, and then I'll press Control Delete and remove them. So now there's no data inside the player save files. Let's go to a console, and I'll make an event, to save the game when it's all ready to go. But right now I'm just going to save game manually. I haven't tried that yet, honey. I know that's what you're going to ask me. People are asking like, where we at? What's the status? And so I'm just bringing it up to date and everything. So I've saved the game. The client managed to pull all the data from the excuse me, the RPG Maker client, and then it sent it to the Socket.io server. And let's see if the server had any problems with that. The server didn't have any problems with that. It created the new account, and then there was no save file found for the game to save to, because I deleted it, actually. I deleted the one so that we hit an error there, because I went into the database and manually deleted it. So let's connect. Let's create a new account, and we're going to call this one Test My Data 12345. So it's creating a new thing, and now if we refresh, you see it created a row, but it doesn't have any stats or anything in it. It's just got the save seed and a few things. Like it will store the username and the password, which is what we're going to use to log in. There's the username, there's the password, and it's storing these in blobs, which is binary large objects. And then we can create our character. We'll make him look like what we want. These are terrible placeholder auto-generated characters, so don't worry, they're going to be changed and they're going to look a bit nicer. Let's do something and try to save the game. Last night at 3 in the morning, when I was still trying to finish the encoder or the decoder for the load game, I realized that I didn't have a place to store I didn't store the data to remember the character's, the graphic that the character picked. So I'm going to have to add that, and I'll add that right now. So we did a thing. We're using, it's kind of like Final Fantasy XI as far as the jobs are concerned, except instead of having just one sub-job, you get 2 sub-jobs. You start with a single primary class and a subclass, but then later on in the game, you're going to be able to unlock a 3rd class, which gives you just a little bit more boost. And you can see that as I got some experience, a level 1 warrior got this much, but then your subclass only got like that much experience, a little bit less, and so that's how that works. Now, if we issue a save game, if it finds the row, which it should this time, your game data has been successfully saved to the server. Then we look at what the server said. The game data has been successfully saved to the server for the user test my data. And so we'll look into the actual database to see if the MySQL server received it. It did. And now, instead of all these zeros, it found that row and it updated it with that character's HP, MP, stats, the jobs that that are currently selected. The warrior was the one that was picked, and the freelancer. This one will say none. The levels, the current experience, all that stuff is there. I'm currently looking at the first 20 switches and the first 40 variables, and I'll add more 20 at a time as needed. Unfortunately, for most things, I won't be able to use self switches because when you create a new game, when you load a game, it's essentially creating a new game and then sending that new game all the data from the save. So this will stop people from like being able to hack their own save file, because all the data is not stored on their computer, and that's how MMOs do it. Even big MMOs use SQL servers. They use like MySQL, but they don't use one. They use like a super cluster of them, and they have backup and more backups and contingencies and more verification. So this is a very bare bones basic way of doing it, but it is essentially the way that even big MMOs do it. So that's cool. I'm reading. Zeriab says, Drifty keeps jumping headfirst into new problems, sometimes keeping back to the surface just before jumping back in again. Can you make your own pixel art for RPG Maker? Absolutely, TechnoCat. You can use... people use GIMP to do that as well. I like Asprite. I use Asprite to do pixel art, but I don't make too much pixel art nowadays. Takes too much time, and I'm never happy with my own results. And I guess everyone has their strengths, and you get better at what you practice, but some people have a natural knack for things and some people don't. And pixel art is not my natural habitat. I can do a few things. I make like buttons and small things, and I'm okay with that. And I just stick to other things that I find I get a more fruitful result out of for my time. Now I really need to test this code. I know it's T's went out of her way to find some code for me. Thank you. And
it may or may not work. I don't know.
That may or may not work. This was what I typed in here, which is not right. This was just like I was going to test something.
So if this does work, you're going to have to iterate through the actors. But
why?
We could test.
There's only one actor.
Oh, there's only one.
Yeah,
okay.
There's only one actor.
Actually,
you just play a character, and that character is like, instead of giving you 4 or 5 characters with 3 or 4 equips, I went like really detailed and went with a single actor that's got a lot of detail to be like, look at his equips: weapon, shield, head, earring, neck, back, shoulders, chest, waist, wrist, headband, ring, legs, feet, relic, accessory.
By default, you have 5 of those, but since you have like 600 trillion, you're gonna have to do a little bit more. You're gonna have to do more.
What do you
Obviously.
mean? What are you talking about?
Because you have to do a call. If this works, you have to do a call like this for each slot.
Well, no. Okay, a slot is different than what you're thinking of in the database. A slot. I only have 15 or 16 slots.
But default, you only have 5 by default.
Right.
You have the weapon,
and then
chest armor, shield.
Yeah. You got like weapon, helmet, armor.
Yeah.
Accessory. Right.
Right.
But so that's fine. That's not a big deal. Look, I'm already passing that data through the entire save and load process. I'm just not using it yet. That's why it's grayed out, because it's not being put to use yet.
All right. Well, I put 0, so that's just your weapon. If you're able to change your weapon, then it works.
Okay, so
Or able to assign your
let's go to
weapon.
the console log. This is where I like to go to run tests and everything. Sir Ling is like, I imagine T's just rocking back and forth going, can I see if my code works? Can I see Synthong Lim says, is it hard to make a video game? Yeah, kind of. A good one. You can make a game.
It's fun.
It's fun, but it is still difficult. If you want it to be any good, it's probably going to be difficult. So right, this returns. I already used this.
Yeah, but put equals whatever you want. Put equals 7. Do the same script call. No, go back into the console.
Okay, hold up.
And put equals 7.
Let me find one that we can check to make sure that it'll work right. Otherwise, if it's like a blank slot, it won't do anything. So let's go to 212. Let's see if we can turn the bronze axe into an iron axe.
Yeah.
And let's see, equals 212. So now it's saying that it's 212, but did it actually update my client that's running?
I don't know. That I did not test.
It does, but it doesn't refresh immediately. Did you see how it showed it? It showed it as, watch, let's turn it to the next one. Let's turn the iron into the next tier, which
But
I
it does
forgot.
assign.
It does. It does change the value, but it doesn't refresh.
It works.
But it doesn't refresh, right? So let's say we go to the next
It doesn't matter
one.
because if you're saving or no.
It'll be a visual glitch that
Yeah.
people will be that I will have a problem with that.
Or maybe
So
you just
we'll
write into the code that you refresh it when that
right, and just do a refresh or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So if we go to equipped, it still shows iron axe, but if we take it off and we look at it, it shows silver.
Yeah.
But let's look at our stats. So our strength and our vitality
you
is
just gotta
going
figure
up.
out what the code is to refresh the menu.
So that's the next thing. Let's
Yeah.
upgrade it to the next tier. Boom. It doesn't change our stats after this has happened until we remove it and equip it. Here's what we can do. We can forcefully remove everything and then re-equip it.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what's the code to do that, to remove and equip?
I think it's right
Equip.
above that actually.
So this is saying what the data that's currently equipped is equal to that. And we see that it is working, and we are changing that on the fly. We'll upgrade it to the next tier. And then when we take it off, we put it back on, and now it's the obsidian one. You can optimize too. I have a script call to auto-optimize, but I think that might frustrate players if they change their gear, and when they load, it's like, hey, I wasn't wearing this. I put on this thing, you know? I mean, if that's the way it's got to be,
It
then
looks
that's
like
the way it's got to be.
this one, change equip. There's also force change equip, which might actually be better.
Sir Legna was saying something about like doing force change equip.
Yeah, this one looks like it might be better. This is pretty simple. Just game actor,
Let's type that in.
force change equip.
Well, I mean, game actors dot actor one
Slot
dot
ID is 0.
force change equip. That's for the weapon, right?
Yeah, and then the item number, so 213 or 215 or whatever it is that you're trying to put in there. Try that.
Let's go to the next one.
No, that's. Did that
It
work?
did. It did register.
Did it change it in the menu?
Let's see. No, you still have to take it off. That one didn't even change it.
Yeah, no, because that's not right. It's 2 parameters. You put it on the outside, but it's a parameter. So
Is it a function?
Yeah, it's a function.
Oh, okay. You didn't. Okay.
So
I didn't know.
0,
0,
216.
216.
Yeah.
It's returning undefined, but that doesn't mean it won't work.
No, I think there's more to it than that.
Oh no, it just straight up removed it. It killed the item.
Yeah, so we have to use both of them in conjunction, I think.
Cannot set property ID of null. So we destroyed the item with force change equip, and then we tried to set that item to something that wasn't there, and then it says you can't do that of null. And then because I've got it paused, it won't do that. And then then you get disconnected because. But I was in the menu, so it didn't run the disconnection thing.
I wonder if you set, because in this force change equip, there's something called this dot refresh. I wonder if you just use that when you do like the first thing that we did.
What if we just call the thing and do dot refresh on
Yeah,
it?
try
Let's
it,
try
see
that.
what
Sir Legna
happens.
says the difference between forced and normal, if I remember right, is one check to see if something is equipped or not. So the force was running the check to see if something's equipped because it, or maybe.
Try that though. Try the first one and this dot refresh. I'm just curious to see what happens.
I do have to load the game because I killed my item.
Oh yeah.
And if I knew the code to add the item, I could write the code to add the item. And I've done it before, but off the top of my head in this moment. This magic moment, I don't remember it. So I'm going to restart.
Okay.
We'll connect, and we're going to do a new account. We're going to call it T.
Me.
And the server does the thing, logs you in, and lets you pick a character and say yes. And yes, you're going to be...
a thief.
No, let's be a warrior because then we're going to mess around with the axes, and I already know the numbers.
Okay.
So right off the bat, you're set up with the bronze axe.
Uh-huh.
All right. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to update that and refresh it, right?
Yeah, just try and refresh
So if we
it.
say
I'm
change
curious to see what
equips
happens.
from 211, which is the bronze, to the iron, we do that, right? And then
this
we
dot
do.
refresh, and it's a function.
Well, you can't use this from here.
Okay.
Why don't we do dot refresh? Is that a function? Refresh is a function, isn't it?
Yeah.
That won't work.
No, it's not gonna work.
What about if we do dot equips dot refresh? That won't work
But
either.
you're not setting anything.
Well, you're actor 1 dot refresh. Let's see if it did something. It still shows the bronze, but if we take it off and put it on, it shows the iron, right? So let's try a different route. We want to change it to now to 213. Hey, Janine.
Oh, so Linka says maybe don't have the menu open when you're doing it. You wouldn't have the menu open if like you're buying a weapon and or you're loading the
That
game.
could be a reason.
So close it and just try
Let's
the first
close the
thing.
menu. That's a very good observation because for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, when you run a parallel process and you open the menu, that parallel is frozen.
Yeah.
All of your parallel processes, if they're not already running, they're frozen when you go to the menu. The same thing happens when you go into battle.
Yeah.
Unless it's already running or it's instantiated from battle, scene battle, it stops it. So if you have like a counter or a timer and you get into a fight, that parallel counter timer will pause. So maybe that's what's happening. Maybe it's working just right. Let's update it to the next one. Let's see, iron. Then it'll be mithril, I think. But we're not in the menu. So if we update it then, and then we open the menu, will it go to mithril? No, it doesn't.
No.
It still shows the iron unless we take it off. Oh, it goes to silver. But regardless, it didn't refresh it, even though we weren't in the menu. That was a great
So we need more
thought. That was a good thought.
More. Darn it.
We need a refresh in there somewhere. What if we try to do the refresh, but also not in the menu? So let's update it to 14, and then we can do gameactors.refresh. Because it didn't crash. It just said undefined. So if we try to do a refresh on game actor 1, not in the menu, will it work then? Will we go to the next one? No, it still shows silver and then it goes to the next one. Okay, so we're on mithril. We need to go to obsidian next. So it would be 215. But then how do we refresh that? So like we want it to change it like it's changing it, but not have the player notice it. So we can forcefully take it off and put it back on for them. So why don't we figure out that code? What's the code to unequip? Janine says actor.changeEquip by ID. Actor.changeEquip by ID. Is that a function? What needs to be passed into that? Two things, 2 data points. So it's actor 1. Is it true or false? So true would be a weapon. False would be not a weapon. I'm thinking that's probably what it is, which would be an armor. So we'll say it's a weapon, and it's going to be 215. Is this going to work? It didn't crash. We were in the menu. It didn't work then. Let's do it outside of the menu. It didn't even update it at all. Nice suggestion, though, Janine. Nice suggestion. It didn't work, though. So they're going to ask, what is the original name like with the prototype? I'm not sure what it's referring to. Synthong, Lim, and Vino are having a conversation about art. Vino is really good at art. VinoGames.com to see some of his examples. Vino's a really cool person, and he offers a lot of free stuff on his website. Just a shout out to Vino. Zariab says, luckily Vino has released 20 games we can all enjoy. He's released 3 games and a Steam Arena. The Steam Arena is the most new thing. It's the MZ thing. Change equip by ID 1, 215. I think I did that. So the first one is true or false, and true will read the same as 1 in this instance. So that would mean the first parameter it's looking to see, is it a weapon? You're changing equipment, but is it a weapon? If it's true, if it's 1, either or, it will say this is a weapon, and then it'll read the database weapons thing at JSON. And if it's false or 0, it will read the armors JSON and try to put an armor there. And that didn't work, though. I just tried it. But that was a great guess. A great guess. Sir Ligna says, pro tip, if you don't know a function, you can type out the function without arguments and hit enter, and it will show you the inner of the function. Huh. Let's do that. What if I just went like this in the console? It didn't show me anything. Are you talking about in your IDE? It depends if you have your IDE set up right and in the right directory. Maybe we type it out. Inside the function, it shows me 2 arguments, but they're like hexadecimal. They're showing it to me in hexadecimal. Underscore 0x5c147a, comma, and then blah, 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 blah. With no execution thing. It just says function for me. Change equip by ID. It just says function. If I hit enter, it gives me a bunch of hexadecimal stuff. Get next available E-type ID. Return const. A bunch of hex code. $ data weapons array. Data armors array. You have to hit enter. I did. See, it tells me some stuff, but it's just a big mess. It's not very clear. That is the code, right? And sure. It doesn't necessarily clearly tell you. Okay, I have a piece of code that I can use to auto-optimize. I wonder if I change it. Okay, what if I just change it and then hit optimize? Will it update it? This is due to Visual Stella. Congratulations for obfuscation. Yeah, that's okay though. Let's run the code that auto equips the best gear for all actors. That tends to be the point, says Zariab. I might have already brought that one in there. Auto optimize all. So here's a code. Here's some code that will iterate through all the party members, gameparty.all members. And then it does actor.optimize equipment. So I'm just going to try to do an actor.optimize equipments. Oh, I can't just say actor. That's stupid. I'm dumb. Sorry. I defined actor in that script. That's why it worked. But I can say game actors.actor 1.optimize equipments. It'll do that. However, we haven't changed it yet. All right, so we still have the mithril axe. Let me update the mithril axe to the next one, which is what? After mithril weapons, which will be obsidian 215. So let's change it to 215 and optimize without looking at it. Let's just go to not be in the menu. So let's do game actors.actor1.equips function with the index of 0, which will be this actor equipment's slot, weapon slot, .id. We'll change 214 to 215. Boom. And then we're going to say optimize your equipments. And then if we go into the menu, does it show the next one? It does. We got it, T. You just optimize. Unfortunately, that might change some of their settings if they have something else equipped that's not optimal.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
That's not the best idea. No, it's progress. Listen, don't just shut it down, T. Don't just shut it down. It's a step forward. You have to be willing to make a step forward, even if you're going to take a step back. So you can't just be like, I'm not satisfied. When you want to make progress, you got to make compromises sometimes. Otherwise, you're never going to get there in the end. And your plugins won't finish. Your projects will never finish. You've got to take your compromise. If you can find a solution, even if it's not the one you like, take that solution, but keep it on the drawing board. So if you're still looking for a better solution for this problem, but here's what I have that works. Don't just flush it down the toilet. That's very disheartening for me when someone does that to my solutions.
Well, I didn't say that, but I'm just saying that I don't think people are going to like having their equipment changed every time they change, like they
load the game.
Yeah, I think that would be very unpleasant as a player.
You know, if it equips the best stuff they have, it's like I said, it's not the perfect solution, but is it better than showing what's better? Having it optimize the best equipment you have, or showing you the wrong equipment completely, showing you the equipment that you don't even have anymore. Right? Showing you a bronze when you have the obsidian would be really frustrating. So I'm gonna take this as a victory right now, and I'm going to use it, okay? And then if we find a better solution, which I know there is a better solution out there, we will go with that one. So this is an option that's still this is a problem that still exists, but we have a solution. Maybe not the best solution, but we have a solution, and I'm gonna use it so that I can move forward with this. I hope you understand. So we're going to use .equips function with the index of each one of them, set them to the value, which I've already passed through the encoder, decoder back, save encoder, save decoder, load encoder, and now we're on the load decoder. I'll get that data right back, and then we'll pass in that variable there that was passed through the parameter. And then I'll just optimize the user's equipments. And as long as we're not in the menu, it'll work. In fact, let me try to do it in the menu. Let's go all the way. We've got the obsidian. What if I was to change this to 216 and then refresh it or optimize? It doesn't do it there. But if I leave the menu and go back in here, it does. So, okay, what if I'm inside here but not in the... What if the menu's open but I'm not in the equip scene? And will it work? Let's go to the next one, 217. And then I optimize. Will it work then? It does. So it will only not work if you are currently inside the equip scene. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, it still may change your stuff if you're I don't know, there may be niche cases where you're not using your best stuff, but in some situations the player may not even know that they're not using their best stuff and want to use their best stuff. So we can be helping people in this solution, even though it might tick off the people who are not using their best stuff for whatever reason. The people who decide to not use their best stuff and want to not use their best stuff could always burn that item if they don't want it to auto. I'll make a thing. At least until I find a better solution, I'm going to use this. And let's go ahead and update the code and get our load game decoder going farther. So for the player's equipment, this would go here, and I can delete this one.
Genie G has a suggestion using change equip.
I already tried that. Gene, you're saying you're using the same thing.
Are you sure?
Yes, I've already tried that. GameActors.actor1.changeEquip. We already tried that. And the only thing he's changing here is the second parameter, which is data weapons 218. But you shouldn't have to reference data weapons inside there because it's already looking in that table. But that's a good suggestion. Because you're passing the number of that. The first thing was changed by ID, but before you started suggesting that, Janine, we used change equip. Here, you know what? Just so that you can see, we'll try it.
Yeah, I just tried it on mine. It didn't change anything.
It doesn't do it.
It said undefined.
I already did that earlier. I don't know if you saw that. And T double checked over here. But I have something that's going to work, so that's great. I appreciate all the help. You guys are giving me lots of suggestions, and together we found something. This is very cool. I appreciate it. Game actors 1.equips 0, which would be a weapon, .id. We're going to set it to the variable that we're passing through, finally getting to use the data that we sent the data all over the place so that we can return it back to the player right here. And then all I have to do is optimize one time after we do all of this. This is cool. This is really cool. So over here, so one thing that I need to equips 0. How does equips function index know if it's a weapon or armor? Does that function automatically know? Is it going to try to equip weapons inside my armor slots? I need to add something to the game so that I can test my equip slots, and I'll do that next after we get this code running. So Legna says, I would write some rough code. Sadly, don't remember all the data structure well enough. It's okay. Another thing your MMO project can be used for is if you want the player's save data to transfer devices, such as a mobile device to their desktop. That's true. All you have to do is log in with your username and password, and it doesn't matter what computer you started the game on. This system, this method, the way that we're doing it with Socket.io and MySQL on a server, you can load your game from any device, and it saves using your username and password. Because none of it's stored on your computer. I never thought about that, but that's true. Thank you, Sir Langman. 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we run the optimize. So the thing I'm trying to figure out now is, this worked for weapon. Is this still going to work for the armors? I would imagine it's just going to read what type of slot is in equip 0 and equip 1, as the array probably has data on each of its indices as well. So hopefully that just works. So this will remember what the player has in those slots, put them back there, and then optimize to refresh, all before the player has the ability to go into the menu. And then, yeah. Exactly, Waffles. That's what I'm saying. If you do the thing with the other thing and then add some Shazam and equate it to the equilibrium, you get your answer. See, I know what's going on. Exactly. Waffles is on. He's synced up. He knows what's going on. If you in the debugging tools, you can try to add a breakpoint on line 325 and then step through the lines using the source, right? I mean, for what though? What's the context here? I forgot what the issue that you're talking about is. There a Sir Legna says, "Oh my gosh, Waffles! I didn't know that you knew code. You guys have been sleeping on Waffles. You guys been sleeping on him." I think now I want to auto run a load function. Even though there's more data that I need to pass through here, that I need to still set job levels and do some other stuff as well. It's not complete yet, but I still want to check this part of the code also just to see what other errors we're going to come across and typos and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and do that in the game. When the game is loaded, upon loading, it's calling a common event that does this. So I think that will be done on the client, isn't it? Now, what is going to start the load process? The script call for load, which is on the login screen, actually. Okay. So after the transfer event, transfer the player. Or maybe we load and then transfer the player. So this is new account transfer. We don't do anything there. When they log in, do that, do that, do that. Transparency off. Before the transparency turns off, we'll do a script call, and we're just going to do load underscore game function that we created. Load game, turn the transparency off, transfer to that map. Waffles says, sad parts are like that. I actually went to school and totally forgot everything. I don't think I could even do a hello world anymore. Oh no. And with this disabledness, I plan to gotta check out the website T told me about. Yeah, I mean, that's a great time. If you've got some downtime, because for those of you who don't know, Waffles broke his arm in a car accident. He's got some time to read some code in one-hand type. Is bracket still a thing? What's good programming app? You mean like an IDE? I use VS Code. I like VS Code. And if you're learning, if you want to like a website, Free Code Camp. What do you think, T?
Yeah, it's very good.
Is it freecodecamp.org?
No, .com.
.com?
Yep.
Sir Legna likes Notepad++. He says he doesn't like bloated IDEs. I used to use Sublime. It's okay, but I think VS Code, the free version, is fantastic. I love VS Code. Should I start? Yeah, I think I'm also going to do a script call for save game once the new user is created. I'll just force that as well. So we'll run the save game right there. Save game, transparency off, transfer the player. Oh no, not yet. After the transfer. We're going to do the save game after they do the Tower of Creation. So they decide the way the character looks, and then before the transfer here, we save the game and then transfer the player. Actually, we should put the save game, we should put the save game inside here. Let's run an auto run. An auto run that just does a script call that saves the game and because I can't use self switches because it will forget it every time. But that's okay. What if we just run the save game every time you enter the tavern? Erase event. Let's just do that. So every time you enter this tavern, it's going to save your game. When you walk in here, it saves the game. Why not? You can store the self switches too. Yeah, I know, but the thing is, Sir Legna, if I store self switches, it's the same as storing switches. What I'm trying to get to is, I guess I said you can't store self. I don't want to have to store self switches when I could just use switches. It's just less for my brain to deal with. Because either way, if I want to store a single point of data, I make the change in the game like everyone else does, right? But then on the client, on the save game encoder, I have to include that here, right? Then on the emitter, I go to the server and I have to tell the save game function emitter to pass that data in the same order that it was sent, and then I have to sequelize that data. And in order for it to sequelize, I have to update the model file, and I also have to make sure that the model file reflects the exact table inside the database. So I have to go to the column here and add a new row or column of data for it to store as well. So yeah, I can store self switches, but it's no different process than storing a switch or a variable, and it's just less obfuscation, I guess, by doing the switches on its own, because there's no like master list of them. You know what I'm saying? 99 super chat from Vaslin Gonchev. Thank you so much, Vaslin. Appreciate that. How are you doing, Vaslin? What's up with you? So yeah, we can, but I don't want to. And if I was going to make another point to store, I would just use another switch because I have plenty of them. Gaming addiction is real. Yes, it is. It's a real thing. Auto run, I usually put events like that on a parallel process. No, I do too, Sir Legna. There's circumstances going on that I can't. So when a new game starts, right, I have a parallel process that runs. It's an auto run, actually. It's going to run this thing, generate a random seed, store this to a client, into a client random seed that is stored into the client JS, and then set a couple of switches and variables. When a new game is started, that's what's going to happen. Turns the player tracker on. Since everything is a new game, I don't want Gold Sword and Bank to be set to 0. That's the thing I don't want. You made me check that. That's good. So on the save game thing, you just call the script. So I can call it as a script call or a common event. For the load game, I'm calling this common event from the client when the function is called on the client JS at the bottom. And something else has to start the script call. So you never call load game common event in this setup. Like I said, the way that I'm doing it is specific to my game. And if I were to give you the plugin, it wouldn't do anything for you. You could just look at it to learn and change everything, like literally all of it almost. Because it's not like a plug and play. I'm not making a thing for you to just download and boom, your game is an MMO now. I wish I could, but that's just beyond the scope. I'm trying to make stuff work where it's just integrated specifically for this game, and I'm doing it, but I'm just slowly, barely doing it with the help of everybody. So, okay, what was the next step that we're on? I want to start a new game, and now that it's going to auto-save and auto-load, I want to check. I'm going to give myself some default gear. I'm going to start the player with some armor because I need to check. So on our actors, which will be the first one, No, not here. Not here. When the player selects their class, I can just change and then run the auto equipped at the bottom. So the auto optimizers are already going to be on and be called. So let's give a piece of armor for all of them. They're all going to get one basic piece of armor before the auto equipped happens. Insert change armors. Change armors, please. Thank you. Not a helmet. Let's just go with a... I guess it would be specific to the classes. All right. Here's what I'll do. If you choose warrior, then you're going to get plate mail. Change armors. You'll get bronze plate mail. Okay. Let's copy this. If you choose the monk, then you'll get robes. You'll just get some robes. Gosh, I haven't looked at this database since like the middle of MV era. Training robes. Okay, you get training robes. In fact, if you select the white mage, you get training robes. The black mage, training robes. The red mage can get armor. Let's make the red mage get regular armor. Red mage is a little more upgraded. They're like the middle ground. They have a little bit of fighting in them, a little bit of fight. So they get the bronze body piece. The thief, same story. Not plate mail, but not robes, somewhere in the middle. Vaseline Gonchev with $5. Thank you so much for the super chat, Vaseline. Appreciate that. I tried to fix a bug, watch Drifty's code, read chat, and I'm so confused right now. Oh, gosh. Sorry. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate that. XGamR says, out of curiosity, is it generally okay to use classes from tabletop RPGs? Yeah, why not? Why not? Try to put your own spin on things, but I don't see a problem with it. So at this point, the party has been given a basic piece of body armor, depending on what class they pick, and then the auto-optimized script call comment event is being run. So they should have a weapon and one piece of armor. That'll let us test to see if our code works, not just with weapons, but also with armors. And also we'll find bugs and typos and see what happens when we try again. So what we need to do is update the server by restarting it. So we're going to Control-C and close it, and then run it again with a new node. And the server's running, and then we'll create a new Chromium node client, and we'll connect to the server. We'll make a new account. We'll call it test that armor. Password, the uncrackable 12345. Oh, thank you, Zeriab. Zeriab says, I personally don't think Drifty's code is that bad, Vaseline, but don't worry. Being confused is a frequent state. That is true. If you were forced to name your classes something else, what would they be? It depends. XGamRs, if you're looking for inspiration, let me throw a website at you that I go to every now and then when I just need names for stuff. It's a really, really cool thing. I know it's sidestepping what we're doing, but it might help you out, and I think it's worth that. So let me find it for you real quick. Gosh, where is it at? I have a link for it somewhere. I got it. We're good. It's called FantasyNameGenerators.com. Now, I'm on the sword names, but let me just go to the class names then. Fantasy names for maybe other names. This is a cool website. Maybe it's like job or rank or class. I know there's one for you in here. Let's find the right one here. J-pop group names. That's the one you're looking for. Just kidding. So many cool things. So many cool generators in here. Spell names. I've gone to this one. I like that. I mean, some of these would work even if they're not specifically for you. Like, you can go to, like, magic types. Let's go to magic types. Defense, conjuring, night magic, rainbow, ritual, holy, conjuring, unholy, blah, 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 absorption, fire. And you can just generate. Like, earth sorcerer, weather sorcerer, blood bender, emotional bender. Oh, that's a different thing. Astral magician. Ice conjurer, a draining sorcerer. You know, you can change these up to fit what you need. Maybe there's a different one. Other gens. Oh, let me give you a link. I'll give you a link to this. Here you go. Check that one out. X-Scammers. It's a great website. Fantasy names. I'm surprised there's no, like, class names or job names. You would think that would be in there. It probably is. I'm just reading. I'm trying to do it in a hurry. Magic usernames. Sprouted, Soothsayers, Occult, Orphic, Conjura, Kazams, Shadows. So you can take like 2 generator information, like Shadow Sprouter or Sprouted Shadowcaster or Emboldened Soothsayers or Occultist Necromancer, or like you can really, well, classes are jobs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised it doesn't have one or the other. So it depends on the theme of your game, really. But this is a cool website. Check it out. I'm gonna let that go now. But FantasyNameGenerators.com. It's not a sponsor, not affiliated at all. But I like the website. Really good website. And maybe that'll provide you some inspiration for naming your weapons and armors and characters and acid ritualists. Yeah, there you go. Acid ritual. That's something different, Ginny. I see no hive mind names. Very sad.
Aw.
It's only 2 names long. Zeriab, Serlegna. Hive mind names. It's
For now.
Huh?
For now.
For now. They must assimilate. Okay, so we've got bronze axe and bronze plate mail on. Let's hold up. I don't know. How would I really test it? Let me check the console. So it's saved. It issued this save. So let's test the... Does it have a new row in here? This would be the saved one. Where's our username? Username, this is test that armor. So I guess we're going to switch the armor and save again. Is that
Waffle
what...
says Sir Zerianga.
Sir Zerianga.
That actually has a nice ring to it. I like it. Sounds like a dance. Zerianga.
Zerianga.
Come, my lover.
It's
Do the
pronounced...
Zerianga with me.
It's pronounced Sir Zerianga. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is index 7, bronze armor. And then I want to switch the bronze armor to the next tier or a higher tier. So I will go here and find that inside the armors. Can I find? Oh my god, the control F. What's control F?
I need a cookie. Lily came up with a new word smash word. She calls cookies gookies, which means good cookies. Mm-hmm. So we put it in our word smash dictionary, which we are absolutely making.
Cookies.
You want a cookie?
Maybe later, thank you. Bronze body is... Wait, what did he... Bronze plate mail. That was at the bottom. There it goes. It found it. Nice. Oh, you can decipher if you, or you can distinguish if you want to look at names, description, note tags, or any of the following. That's really cool. Partial match allowed, case sensitivity. There's a control F when you look through your database to find stuff. Control F to find stuff.
That's amazing.
Heck yeah, that's pretty cool. So this one is 441, and I need to switch it to 442. So let's go ahead and switch this armor to 442. Boom. Right? And then I'm going to save the game. I didn't even refresh. I'm just going to run a save game again. So on the database, let's go to where our armors are at yet. I haven't saved it yet. If we go over to... I could have gone here to look. Equip slot 7 should have said... It should have said for something, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it should have. It didn't save the armor. It didn't save the armor at all. Let's run a save game again.
Weapons are proving to be a real pain. Items are going to be a pain.
Yeah.
Huge pain.
Take care, Zariab. Your game has been successfully saved to the server. Sure. Refresh then. It doesn't update my equip slot 7. That's not fun times. No big yay wows for that.
No.
Let's try to do...
That's the bad sad
Okay.
wows.
Let's try to change our 211 bronze axe to 213 the silver or something. Boom. Okay. And then if I save... That should have updated the database. So if I refresh... Yeah, no, it's not refreshing. It's not saving. Am I getting an error on the server that would explain things? Nope, that's not fun. Because then it doesn't... Equip slot 0. So maybe it has to be refreshed. It has to be refreshed. So, well, that was a test. So we know it doesn't work unless you optimize. So let's try to optimize. So let's change it to 214, and then we'll also change 7, which is the body armor, to 443, and then we'll do the refresh code. Optimize equipments. Okay. And then if we go here and we look, it shows mithril axe and silver plate mail. Right? It's been refreshed. Now if we save... We didn't get an error as far as I can tell. And if we refresh... Okay, so it did update the weapon. But it still is not saving any armor whatsoever. So I need to look into this. It's either not sending it right... It's not creating the data properly. It's not sending it properly. It's not being received properly. It's not being stored properly. It's not being retrieved from the SQL properly. It's not being sent back to the client properly, or it's not being interpreted properly. It could be any of those things. So we check all of that. Janine says, I'm still petitioning for it. Okay. I will take your petition.
Just do it.
I will do it.
I tried it on my game, but I also didn't like... I have default weapons and stuff, so maybe my character couldn't equip the weapon.
Game actor dot actor one dot change equip 0
Do it.
comma $, data weapons. It has to be something different, or not parentheses, right? You want it to be just like this.
A number.
Yep. Okay. Right now it's at 214, so 216 should upgrade it a couple tiers. Boom.
I got
Says
undefined.
Okay.
That's what I got.
It didn't do it.
Yeah.
It didn't do it. It's still mithril. If we take it off and we put it back on, it didn't
Yeah.
even change it.
It didn't do anything.
It didn't
for
do
me either.
anything, my friend. Not a thing. Because if we wanted to change it to 216, look, I'll do it. I'll change it to 216 the previous way we do it. I change it to 216. It'll go from mithril, but we also have to optimize for it to work
Don't
right.
be sorry. It's fine. Thank you for the suggestion.
Yeah, appreciate it. And then we optimize, and now we were in the menu, but if we leave the menu and refresh, it went from mithril to adamantium. So there we go.
I was just the reason why I was so darn quiet like the past half hour is because I was furiously trying to figure it out too, and then I just gave up. And now I'm looking at my code that I want to give up on because it's being stupid. I want to divorce my code. I filed for
No.
divorce against my code.
Don't do that.
This plugin is going to the whorehouse to make money.
Okay.
I'm very mad at it.
Yeah.
It just won't. Ugh. Right now, it's technically a working plugin, but it sucks. It's a sucky plugin.
Yeah.
It needs to go in the trash bin. But I actually kind of figured that's how this would end. That's why I didn't tell anybody I was doing it, because I didn't think it was actually going to get finished.
Sir Legna says, I thought Drifty pissed you off, T.
No! Drifty's amazing. I love Drifty. He's a great guy. Drifty's a nice fella. He smells good, too. You guys can't smell him, but he smells great.
Can't tell if being serious or not. Do I need a shower? I don't really-
Do you need a shower?
I don't think so.
Nah, I think you smell fabulous.
Can't read through the thickness. There's too much thickness coming from you. I can't read through it. All right. So I have an issue with armors not being saved properly. I'm gonna look at the code and then we'll find out if it's good or not, and if it's working or not. Come on, brain, just stop being dumb.
So Janine is asking, maybe it's because you have the optimize equipments on. Try commenting that out and run it again.
Maybe it's because optimize equipments runs this .clear equipments at the start. Maybe what's what?
Maybe it didn't work because you have the optimize equipment thingy running.
What doesn't work?
The suggestion that we just tried.
Do you want me to change the way optimize works?
Well, no, don't you have optimize equipment running on load right now? When you load, it optimizes so that it makes the change.
When you load your character,
It optimizes equipment automatically, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. Maybe because that's running as soon as you load, the code didn't actually.
How would that affect anything? Because it happens before you run that code.
Oh, yeah, that's true because you didn't load it to test it, did you? Yeah, I don't think it would. I don't think it would do anything. T, I remind you, you said you like when Drift smells sweaty, so you can't be trusted on that statement that Drifty always smells good. I'm sorry, guys. I don't care how long it's been since the last shower.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore. I'm trying to figure some code out. You guys talk amongst yourself, I guess. So on the client, when you save, we're passing equip slot 1, 0 through 15. Let's look at those. Here it is. Okay. Oh, that makes perfect sense. Equips 1, equips 2, equips 3, equips 4. I'm not checking the right index.
Oh,
I'm not checking the right. I copy paste and forgot to go down and change a thing.
that'll do the thing.
Yeah, that helps.
Isn't
There we
it
go.
wonderful when you find like this is absolutely what my problem is, and you can be confident that it's going to fix it.
Well,
And then it doesn't fix it, and you want to yeet your computer out the window.
you know, it's just one more thing that I could check. So it's whatever. All right, so the client needs to be restarted, but I'm just in the process of going thoroughly. So I'm going to restart the server, then I'm going to close the client, and then I'm going to yeet my computer. No, I'm going to save and restart this as well.
Oh,
make a new
X Gamers
account.
asks, Driftwood Gaming and T, are you two married?
Yes.
Yeah, we're married. We're married, and we have a wonderful little small human.
A little booper.
Yeah. Waffle says, no X Gamers. Me and Drifty are married. I will fight you. Where are you? Give me your address, Waffle. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. He's my man.
T just holds the babies.
I get to smell him all day, not you.
So the game saved. Let's refresh, see a new row, and see. Hey, we got it. Equip slot 7 is there.
Yay, you did it.
441.
That's awesome.
Oh, great.
Now Sir Lenga wants to be married too. Gosh, what is this? Like, I'm.
Isn't the
blank. I
hive
can't
mind
even.
married to itself, though?
He wants us to be part of the hive mind.
Oh. Are we being assimilated right
We're
now?
being assimilated.
Are we all part of the Borg now?
Wait, did you confer with Zeriab? Because
Zeriab,
pretty sure
yeah.
he has say in this.
Sir Legna, you're going to have to ask Zeriab if we can be part of the Borg assimilation hive mind. You guys have to be one mind. He doesn't have to ask because they are hive mind. They've
That's
made
true.
that.
They know.
If Sir Legna talks, we already know that Zeriab
Right,
agrees.
that's
And if
true.
if Zeriab says something, we know that it also came from Sir Legna. This is hive mind mentality.
Yeah. Now accepting applications. No, you don't get it, Sir Legna. It's supposed to be take by force.
Thank you, X Game Mars. It has its ups and its downs, and I feel blessed. And now accepting applications. All must join the hive mind. That wasn't a question, though. It was a command. All must join hive mind. So we've stored armor.
If I join hive mind, do I get you guys' knowledge on coding? Because that's legit.
Here's
I'll
what I
take it.
want to do. I want to change the armor and the weapon. Of course, I'm going to cheat them in because I don't really want to go through the process. I don't even have the processes to upgrade them yet in the game. But I'm going to save the game with upgraded weapons and armor, and then I'm going to load the game as a login instead of new account, and I'm going to see if it remembers the weapons and armors and stuff. So let's upgrade our bronze axe to something else and our chest plate to something else through the console. We'll save it, we'll restart, and we'll load, and we'll see if it remembers what's at. Because remember, we're not saving and loading locally. We're doing it all remotely to a server. So when you connect, you're essentially in a new game again.
Gosh, you make me want to figure it out again. Damn it. Why?
I don't know.
Now I have to go back and do it again.
Just do it again. All right, so let's do that. We're going to change our weapon to, I think that's the adamantium one. And then we're going to change this one to the mithril one. Then we're going to optimize equipments. We need to leave this scene and then optimize our equipments. And then if we look, we should have an adamantium axe and a silver plate mill. Great. We've updated those. If we look on the database on the server, it shows 211 and 441. But if we save the game, which I can do. Oh no, come back. Come back. Console, come back. If we save the game and refresh, boom, it updates to 216 and 243. 443. Brain. We've updated our weapon and our armor that's stored on the server. Let's test if our load code will work properly when we load the game. All right. So F5 and connect. Forgot my password. Oh no, it was login. It was Lily, and then password 1345. So it's gonna, if I typed it right. So on load, there's an error. I have a problem on load. Cannot set property ID of null. Let's look at the code. Cannot set property ID of null. Why? So this is on the client's decoder, the very last step. Save game, all the way down to load game. Here, we're in load game now. So it's here. So the last thing I added in here that I thought might have been a solution. We cannot set, like we're doing on the console. You know how we're doing that on the console? We're like, do this thing, set it to this number. It's saying at this point in the load process, it can't set it because it's null. So it's currently null when I'm loading the game. Am I loading the game too soon? Why is it null at this point? So even though it works on the console, at this point, it can't set it because it's null. Now, obviously, I can say, if this value is not null, do it, but then it'll just skip over it and it won't do it at all. So I can get past the error and make the game load, but it won't load these things if I tell it not to during that process. How do I make it do that at the right time? So maybe I call this at a different time, but I say on the load, maybe I have to run this as a script call in the game, and then maybe I run this as a script call in the game. Are you freezing the code execution because the console might pass that error? Yeah, I can unfreeze it. Boom. But it says cannot set property ID of null. So now the game will go, but it'll say uncaught type error, cannot set property ID of null. So I already knew it was going to do that. So I froze it in the source so that it wouldn't even go past it. And it's even highlighting where it's at. It's like, okay, this is where it's at. Can't set it of null. So it's saying this value here is returning null at the moment that this code is being ran. So it's like the player hasn't been created yet. Like there is no game actor 1 right now. The game isn't running right now or something like that. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I make this happen a little bit later? I could break that value into parts so you can see which one is actually null. It's this value. It's this value. When it's trying to find game actor 1 equips index 0.id. It can't find the ID of the index of the equips of that actor 1. I know exactly where it can't find the index. It can't find the ID of that index because it's not there yet. Since there's no equip existing yet, you cannot assign an ID. That's right. So what if we put this in a script call after the game starts? Like you put the character in the game, the actor exists, therefore his equips will exist, therefore you can check the ID of his equips, and then you can change them. Transaction fees, XCAMRs. Banks get it. Yeah, so let me try to put this in a script call, which, like, once again, this game, the plugin works for this, will probably only work for this game only, and you'd have to, you'd probably have to make your own, you'd most certainly have to make your own version of this plugin and to make your game work. And you'd have to do the same stuff in game that I'm doing, but differently for your specific variables and systems. So let's script call here. This is saying if that, then that, and then at the end of all that, because regardless of what's going on here, I could also hit errors with this, because I'm not sure if the multi-class system from Vigistella allows you to put in a variable for a class ID. I hope it does. If not, I have to use some of the game variables to store data, and then see if it references them there. And if it doesn't do that, because it wants a specific number, then I have to figure out a new way to assign assign jobs and job levels to the characters from loaded games. Since they're not actually loaded, they're always new. I may have to break down into complex math where I'm assigning a certain amount of job points and then leveling them up and doing some stuff, on load. I don't know. We'll get there when we get there. Let's do a new script call. I'm going to see if this will work. Let's take this plugin code. Can I fit all this in there? That's what she said. No, I can't. All right, let's break it up into 2 pieces then. I've got 11 in here twice. We'll just get rid of this one. All right, so we're saying after this exists to do this. Equip slots, is that going to know? Am I going to have a scoping issue with equip slots? Yeah, I'll have a scoping issue because it'll say equip slot is undefined. What I have to do is, in this case, go to the top and create equip slot and just leave it blank. Or set it as a 0 at the top, unfortunately. But let's just say that. Let's let it do that so that if I'm mistaken, if I'm mistaken, then it'll be in my benefit. Did I comment that out on the thing? No, I have to comment this out, otherwise we won't get past this. Okay. And that's a client update, so I'll have to close the client or restart it. Would probably work. Connect. It's going to try to load the same thing again, so let's just log in using the previous account. Yeah, like I said, it's going to say equip slot is not defined. So I can get around this, but it did get past that one error, right? So it's going to look ugly, but I'll get around it. Scope up equip slot 0 equals equip slot 0. This is a little trick. It's gross looking, but whatever. It'll do what we need it to do. And if it fixes the problem, like I said, you don't always get the solutions that you want, but sometimes you get the solutions that you need. You got to compromise on your... You got to compromise sometimes. And you may be wondering, why didn't I say let this? Because we're not going to create the let in here. We'd still have the same scoping issue. What we're going to do is we're going to define these scope up equip slot numbers 0 to 15 at the top. Oh, why don't if I just use an array for this? Oh shit, let's do that. I'm going to change it. Change my mind. We're going to do an array. Scope up equip slot equal a new array. And then what we're going to do is say oops. And then all I have to do is say let scope up equip slot equal array, and I'm going to give it those values 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 at the top. And then I don't need to have that one thing there. I forgot one thing. So let's go. Let scope up equip slot equal an array that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Index 0 to 15. Boom. One more thing has to be done down here. I actually don't need this saying it is an empty array, and it doesn't need to do that anymore. Now what we've done, so this is a little trick you can do to scope, to change the scope on variables. You define it globally at the top of your plugin as a placeholder so that it exists right from the beginning. You use let or const. Well, you're not going to use const because you're going to assign it a value. You always use let here, unless you're using ES5 and you say var. And then you can reference that. Did I pass it? Then you can reference that and assign it values inside of a smaller scope. But the thing is, you change the global variable. So even though the scope of this gets terminated, you still have that changed data on a global scale. So you can reference that global data. So like I said, it looks ugly because you got this whole chunk right there. And then you also have like this long empty array at the top. But it's going to work, right? Scope up equip slot. So I'm going to call it that. Now I have to reference it properly as well. And instead of saying equip slot, I have to say scope up equip slot and then put in the index that I'm referencing. So let's take this, copy this, and go like this. Paste, paste, paste. No, they're not all going to be 0. Just methodic. While I'm at it, might as well clean it up. Let's try again. If we get a game to load and put on our weapons as they left, then I'm going to call that a sweet, sweet victory. Regardless of the ugliness, if it is ugly to some people. Nobody's going to look at it anyway. Equip slot 4 is not defined? Did I miss something somewhere? Did I miss something somewhere? Excuse me? That's a typo somewhere. Oh, I put a T. Look, equipped slot. There it is. Okay, we fixed that one. Equip slot 0 is also not being used. Where is this not being? Oh, another typo. That's supposed to be 0. Equip slot 0. 2 bugs. 2 typo bugs. I'm glad that VS Code does like the highlighting syntax so you can tell when it's like you declared something that's not being used, it grays it out. It's very useful. Sick. All right, let's try again. Close this. I don't think we changed the server at all, but I want it to work. I'm gonna restart the server in case I made one change or something. Blah blah blah. Server's restarted. Boom. Boom. Fresh. Connect, load, and put on my sweet gear. Let me log in to my account. Get my sweet, sweet gears. Same problem. What? No. Oh, no. What? Cannot set property ID of null. In the database, are we storing values as nulls? No, they're set as zeros. The data is stored as zeros, and then they're stored as the number that we want to load. Oh, where are we at here, though? No, that's on the first one. That's on weapon. No! T's mic's all the way over there. I don't want to. She's got all the cool toys on her mic. This one. No! There you go. T did it for us. Yeah, don't hold them, just press them. You want to go on 2?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what happened? It's freaking
broken.
out. Oh, something broke. Oh, it's fixed.
Just gotta smack it.
There you go. The equips function returns temporary array constructed based on whether the item exists or not. So maybe instead work on underscore equips variable. You know, that's a good suggestion. So you know what that leads me to believe is that it's not a scoping issue. It's something else with it not finding equips at all. Even because now we're calling it after the player already is existing here.
This is impossible.
What, your code?
This is impossible.
It's impossible.
Impossible.
Corey Davis, what's up, dude? How are you doing? He says with a $5 super chat. What did I miss? I am making more progress on the MZMMO, my dude. We're making good progress. I'm trying to get it to load the equipment that the player has. So when you save the game, you know, it's not stored on your computer, it's stored on the server. So you can play it on any device and play on your laptop and then save, you know, log off and then log back on your desktop, and your account's all the same. But right now, when you load your game, it doesn't put your armor and your weapons back on. And so if you change them, it doesn't remember that. Like, the data gets stored on the server, so I've got the encoder of the save game working, the decoder of the save game. It goes onto the SQL server from the socket server, right? And then when it sends the data back from the SQL on the load function, the load encoder, to the socket server, it works. But then when it sends it to the socket server to the socket client, which is RPG Maker MZ, it crashes. It says it can't do it for some reason. Something of null, right? Even though the server is like, we know what weapon you have, we know what armor you have, here's what weapon and armor you have, send it back. And then the game is like, okay, I take this data and I put it, crash. Doesn't know where to put it. That's what she said. And I thought it was a scoping issue, so I did this little method to change the scope, which I'm going to comment out because I don't think you need it. So I can uncomment this and just change these, and go to the top here and comment out this array that I don't think I need. So when I don't want to make a habit of leaving stuff around that's unnecessary, I'll comment them out and then eventually I'll cut them if I work around them. So we're back to, nope, we're back to this thing. And it's not a scoping error here. It's that this isn't, even though it works on the console, it doesn't quite work when you're loading for some reason. $5 super chat from Waffles. Thank you, Waffles. What the F did you even just say, Drifty? This is why I can't be here, besides just to be here. I don't know. I said what is happening. Corey wanted to know what he missed, and I was just bringing him up to speed on the inner workings of what's happening. Drifty's about to demolish World of Warcraft. I feel like Drifty's speaking in alien language using Sumerian translations. It's really easy. It's clear. Isn't it clear? Look, do I need to do it again? Look, it's easy. You have a client that's running RPG Maker MZ, right? That's a node client. It's running a Chromium thing, a Chromium node runtime. That's the client. And then it's using Socket.io to connect to a Socket.io server, which is running in a node client as well. It's running in a PowerShell ISE as administrator, just like CyberBaron the bot. And so they're talking, a node server and the RPG Maker, they're talking. But then you have the node server talking to another server. It's talking to this thing, the database. Well, it's actually talking to this thing, which is the MySQL database. This is the server that's on over here, running the database requests. But it's hard to look at the data if you just go to this tool. So I have another tool to look inside the tables and look and really peek around, right? So I'm using this to interpret what's happening on this MySQL server, which is being communicated with by the socket server. And so the client will send communication to the socket server. The socket server will take that information and send a request or send data to the MySQL server to store or retrieve data or check it, and then it goes back to the socket server, and the socket server is like, thank you, MySQL server, the client was looking for that, let me give it to the client, and then it sends it to RPG Maker MZ again, and then MZ is like, thank you, socket server, for acquiescing to my request for data from the MySQL server. Now I got this data, I can stick it in my beep, and it just crashes. That's where we're at. But if you stick it in the right hole, you get good results. That's all I'm trying to say here. You gotta put the data in the right spot. It's just data, man. It's just data.
Getting that data.
Get that data, boy. All right, so yeah, that's the next thing. You want to look at the underscore equips, right? Instead of the equips thing. So we're going to swap out the equips function with the dot underscore equips. Vaseline Gonchev, I was thinking that too. I was like, maybe because there's nothing there, it's crashing because there's nothing in there. So it can't find the ID of nothing there. So that thought crossed my mind too. But I'm like, in order to do that, I'd have to go to the actor and start them with a bunch of stuff. And then maybe delete that stuff. And then I'd have to increase the database or placeholder stuff. For every slot, I'd have to put something in there. What did she say? I kind of want to try that first. And then we'll change the code. Because we know this code works if you're in the game. I want to try something. This might be helpful. Okay, we'll have to do like a new game. Connect a new account. New account. It's going to be tester 1. I want to try to assign something to the armor when there is no armor there. Like, I want to try to put, like, let's just say this character doesn't have any helmet. I want to see if I can assign the helmet without there being a helmet there first. So far, we've only tried to change existing things. But what if we try to assign something when there's nothing there? Because that could be a problem even if we fix the problem we're having right now. So let's go to the console and let's run in, which one is helmet? We got 0, 1, 2. So that's 2. Index 2. Now let me find a helmet so it'll not just completely bug out and probably put something else that doesn't belong there. Some helmet. I'm a warrior, so I'll be able to use all kinds of armors. Let's do a helmet, a bronze helmet, which is item 51. So let's change the item that's here, which doesn't exist, to 51. Ah, cannot set property ID of null. Vaseline, you're right. You're right. That's what's happening, Vaseline. It's trying to set data. I hear you, Janine. But it's not the problem. The problem is it's trying to set the ID of something that's not there. So I'm gonna try Janine's thing since very persistent. Very persistent.
Hey, squeaky wheel gets the
grease.
cookie. Googie.
Yeah, Googie.
Googie.
Such a little angel. Cutie pie. And then if that helps us, then there. ._equips is never null. Okay, maybe we don't need to make temporary stuff and remove it because that would be some extra work. So Janine might be saving us some work here. Both ideas crossed my mind, and I think both are worth looking into. So let's do that. We'll close the game. We'll close this again. Let's change the code. Nope, that's not the code. Nope, that's still not the code. There we go. So I'm going to keep this the same and rewrite it. That way, if I want to go back, I have the same thing there. Yada, 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 yada. Let's copy this. We got different methods going on. Okay, so let's go back and do ._ game actors at actor 1 ._ equips, but we're not using a function here. It's just the array of what we've got. And then we're going to use, instead of .id, we're going to say set equip. And that's a function looking for 2 parameters. True or false. True would be for weapon. False would be for armor. 0 is weapon, so we'll do true. And then we're passing it in the actual thing that we're looking for. So we don't say equals, we just give it that value, right? Right, Janine? And this time for 1, it would be false for all of the armors. Flares. Name that song. You better be right, Janine. You better be right. Just kidding. Just kidding. I appreciate the help. If you're wrong again, I will do nothing bad about it. I'll just say thank you again for trying. Does that look right? Let's see if it works. So now we need to remove those script calls too. If I'm wrong, I will donate $5. Okay, bet. We're trying it. We're gonna try it. But we also have to move the roadblock here, because these script calls, I'm not gonna delete them. I'm going to move them into a placeholder. Test code holder, do not execute. That way they don't bork up the system. Test code holder. Oh, we do need to do the optimize at the end though, right? I'll try it with and without. I'm pretty sure you need to do it. Because it does like a refresh when you do this. Optimize equipment creates a refresh. So like not that we needed to optimize, but we needed to invoke the refresh call on the equip scene. All right, so let's go full restart. Close this. Oops. Damn it. Close the server, restart the server node. And then close the client, restart the client, make sure all the JSs are saved. Let's make a new account, right? No, essentially we can load. We can load one, because at this point we're trying to load something that's already been changed. So we want to load and see the silver and mithril adamantium or whatever I changed it to on this account. It didn't crash. No, look it didn't remember. It doesn't have any weapons or armors. That what that does is it effectively removes them. And we know that it's sending a number, right? We're sending the number because the number is stored right here. And when I load the account Lily, which is, make sure that I'm using the right one. Where's that numbers? Damn it, where's it at? This row, the bottom row, 441 and 211. Right here. What account is this one? Wait, right? 214, no, 211 and 441 is account name Tester1. Okay, my bad. Tester1. Connect with Tester1 account. Yeah, it doesn't. He loses his weapon and the armor. It's gone. Does it put it in our inventory? It just... Our weapon. Look, there's our weapon. Bronze axe. Bronze plate mail. We still have them. Well, no, those are the starter ones. Those are the starter ones. But it doesn't let the... Oh, the freelancer can't use it. That's why. You know, if it wouldn't show the starting gear, so it's giving bronze plate mail and the bronze axe. If it wouldn't give the starting gear and show the adamantium and stuff, I would say it still works. But it gives a starting gear, and it's not supposed to give starting gear. The SQL, the data table for this one is showing that he should have... Oh no, wait, that is starting gear. What was the account? that we changed the weapon for? This one. Hold on, you might have got it. Don't give up on me yet. I think you might have got it. What account is this one? Test that armor account has a different weapon. So let's log in with test that armor, and if it shows this weapon in the inventory, it could be because the freelancer can't use the axes. So I can do two things. I'm going to temporarily allow the freelancer class to use axes. That way it'll try to equip it and we can see if it does it or not. And we'll load test that armor account. It didn't crash, but that doesn't mean it's going to work. Let's log in with test that armor. And the test that armor account failed because we only have the weapon on the database. We hadn't figured that out at the time. Bro, you did it. Janine got it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like? I have to see.
It just shows it.
No, let me see the code. I want to see the sexy.
So all we did was we changed this right here. So instead of checking the actor dot equips, instead of checking that,
you went straight to the to the object.
Right, it's saying look at what he's got. What he's got.
Cool.
And
Hey.
it didn't crash if it didn't find anything there.
So we were close.
Yeah.
So close, but so far.
Janine did it, guys.
Good job.
Janine.
That's awesome.
Janine came in and saved the day at the end.
Slowly puts down wallet. Yes.
Now we need to test it some more, right? Let's test it with a new account because we're doing some weird loady shit. Now that let's let the freelancer temporarily be able to wear all the stuffs. I'll delete all this later because we're just testing. Heavy armor. And I guess we'll stick to axes. That's fine. Axes and all the armors. So I want to see on the fly. Let's create a new account and stuff. Let's connect a new account. This is going to be new account. Just like that. Janine G. We got a baby. There's a baby awake now. Hi, honey. Right on time. We got some success.
It's always nice to end off on a good note.
Yeah.
Let's put your hair back, little girl.
See, this time we're going to
Long
be...
hair and it goes into her eyes. She has to have it back every day now.
Yeah. So as a warrior, they can use axes. So we probably hit some roadblocks with code that may have worked in the past, but we didn't allow the freelancer to use axes, so it unequips them and shows them as not existing. But if you go to the weapons and when they unequip them, they should appear there.
Nice.
Hi, baby. I love you. Did you get a big nappy? Yeah. She's just staring at me. I had to engage. All right, we're gonna end it really soon. I want to test something. Let's go to the console log, and let's do the set equips instead of doing it like that. We'll do it the way that it was written. We'll say actor1 dot underscore equips dot set. Was it set equips? I gotta look at the code. Set equip. But we have to give equips an index. So let's go 0, because that's our weapon. And then we'll say dot set equip, giving it 2 parameters. if it's a weapon or not would be true, comma, the item ID, let's say 218. Okay. If we go here, it automatically updated it even if you were in the menu,
Nice.
but not if you're in the equip menu. I think we tested that. Okay, so we're gonna go with that, and then for the bronze plate mail, let's change that one to say false. I remember, that's why I'm doing that one. It's 7. And we're gonna change that one to 415, something like that. That should upgrade that. Boom. And it didn't upgrade it yet, but if I go back.
What do you want? See it?
Wait, I think I destroyed it. Is set equip 415. Is 415 a body armor? Is that the problem? Maybe it's not. Confused now. 415 is no. Oh no, 415 doesn't exist. It was okay. Let's do 413. That was my fault. My big dumb. 413. Let's go to equip. Chest. No, it's gone. It doesn't. Maybe it doesn't work if you're in the menu or something like that.
Should have quit on that high note.
I know. It's not working for armor, or am I doing something wrong here? Hey, Sea Strife, it's going very well. We've had a lot of help from the community. We're making steps forward.
Armor is false. Weapon is true.
Yes. Is it a weapon?
Right.
And if it's, Now I'm confused why it just made my armor disappear and I can't get it back. Let me just go back a second here. Set equip. Boom. Data class blank. Item 0. Equips 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So it knows that this is weapon, but it doesn't know what any others are. It only knows what index 0 is.
Big
Yeah. I mean, it definitely can tell when there's not a thing there, because it says undefined if it's an index of an equip that doesn't exist, but it goes up to 0 to 15. 16 is undefined, but 15 is like data class blank. It only has something listed if something is equipped there. Right, so it's saying 0, okay. But then if I go... So can I not set equip if there's not something there, and we have to use Janine's and Vaslin's solution, right? Is that what's going on? I have to make a placeholder item that does like nothing and have something equipped in every slot for the actor, and then when the game starts, remove all those things? I have another question. If you try to auto-optimize and you have gear that adds negative stats, will it take those things off? It should work with nothing there, right? That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm so confused. I'm saying, like, okay, we know that this is the armor slot, so it's not a weapon, so we'll say false. And I know that there are armors in that range, 400 to 413. And I want to set that equip on that actor to be that. But There's no armor there. And it didn't create the item either. It's not adding that item. Wait a minute. What the hell? What the hell? I think I found my problem. 7? Is 7 legs? Because it's creating items. And what it's happening is it's trying to put them in a slot that they can't go in.
Well, it's the array, so you start at 0. The slots are an array.
Yeah, I know, but let's check.
Yeah, check it.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What? Where are legs?
Am I just being a dumb boy and adding? I am. I'm adding these to armor. Gosh, I'm freaking so stupid. I'm stupid.
You found it.
That was a problem, yo. That's why I wasn't being like, it's broken, it doesn't work. I'm like, why is this not? This should be. Let's change it to 452 then, huh? Let's go to the console. Nope, the console. There we go. And we'll change 7 to 452. Something that actually should be there, that could fit there possibly. And it goes there.
Amazing.
And it goes there.
Amazing.
Hey, you know, I learned something though. I learned how to create an item and give it to the party member.
Yeah.
You try to equip it to a slot that it can't go in, and it just adds it to your inventory. Because if I go to legs now,
Just make a dummy slot that nothing can be equipped to.
if I go to legs, those things that I created are there.
So yeah, dude, just make an invisible dummy slot that nothing can be equipped to, and just equip every new item to it.
Nah, you don't have to make a new slot for it. You just equip it in a slot that it's not supposed to be in.
Yeah,
and it
that
won't.
works,
It'll
yeah.
just be added to your inventory.
That's amazing.
So you can use set equip to give the party items.
Maybe the item giving thing isn't hard to do, but
Right. I haven't even tried to do that yet.
That's super cool.
Super good progress.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
It's not a bug, it's a feature. So I want to, okay, now that we've got this, and we've got a couple pieces of armor, and we've got a weapon, I want to save the game, yeah? And then I want to load, and when I load, I want to have those things equipped. Now, I know what'll happen is, I still haven't figured out the class loading properly. Like, it's not setting the player's class properly. So I will come back as a freelancer, even though my character is a warrior freelancer. He'll come back as just freelancer. And that can cause things to not equip right. That's why I allowed freelancer to equip everything until we figure out the class state core update. That's a big problem that I have to look into next time, because it's not letting me change my class the way that I've set it up, and I need to set it up differently. And it doesn't clearly tell you the script calls. The documentation is great, but it doesn't tell you the script calls. It gives you plugin commands, but in the plugin commands, which I'll go and show you right now, they don't allow you to put in a variable. So right here, when I'm like, okay, for my actor 1, the third sub job, or the third tier job, I want to change his class ID to be a variable. It bugs out when I go here because I had some other data in it, so I have to go back to refresh it, and then it erases my data to 0. I want it to be a variable, unlock class 3, that I'm storing as a global in my plugin, unlock class 3. But it doesn't take a variable. I literally have to be specific and say what it is, but I can't know what it is. So the next thing I'm going to try to do is put in a game variable and use game variables for it, which I'll try next time. So that's a big problem for me right here. I have to figure out, why isn't my class change system taking my variables and demanding it to be a specific number when I can't specifically say the number unless I make another interpreter, which I can do and will do, just haven't got to yet. But let's load game, okay? Let's save game. Oh wait, hold up. Go to the console and run the save game. Save game function that we wrote. Garm, save garm. Save the game, and then make sure that the table updated, refresh. Was that a new table? That was a new table. So we have new things for our equip slot. We got weapon 218, body armor 452, and legging armor 413. So when we load our game, even though we're freelancer, we should have that stuff on it, because that's the way it should work, right? Bala bala bing boom. let's connect using log in using Janine G. Thank you, Skeps. It was a cumulative effort. I've had some fantastic help and support today. I love you guys so much. You guys are making this possible. We're getting through a lot. Check it out. I loaded, and even though they didn't do the job like we just explained, we'll figure that out. We'll figure this out. It equipped the weapon, the armor, so we've got that. The thing I wanted to do today got done.
The one he wanted to do.
Today.
Speaking
Thank you,
of doo-doo,
everyone.
I think Lily's got a doo-doo.
Oh, great. We got diapers to change. I'm going to end the stream now. We've been going for a couple hours, 2.5 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been fun. It's been amazing. I love you guys so much. We're going to be live tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Next Thursday, I have an appointment, and I can't be here. So there'll be no stream next Thursday. But we'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be hanging around on the Discord. You can find me on the Discord. Tune in. The link's in the description below. Like this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Driftwood Gaming. Go to if you're on the Discord and you want to stay up to date, I'm working on this like all day, all night when I can. It's so much fun, and when I make the little bit of progress, it's very exciting. I feel like it's like a dopamine hit. It's almost like a drug. And so I'm kind of addicted to this process right now. And I'd love for you to just tune in and continue to help make this happen. Join us on the Discord if I can find the damn thing. Let me click on this, go across here. The MZMMO _coding channel is where I kind of talk all night. I look at all the channels, I read them all, but this is where I kind of engage the most recently. So yeah, under production, MZMMO _coding. I'd love to see you come join us in the Discord. We'll let you guys know now. We'll let you guys go now. Drifty's.
You Sim, go to the Discord and ask the question. We're here all day. We're there all day. Go there and ask the question. No.
All right, later, guys. Later. Gotta go.
Bye.
I'm getting the signal.
Must change poopy diaper.
I'm getting the signal.
Deal with feeding children.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Love you guys. Bye. Hell yeah.